All right. Atlantic Division down. Metropolitan Division ready to go. We start going alphabetically because, again, the whole geographic thing was going to be a nightmare and probably give me further CTE than what I already have. First team up, Carolina Hurricanes. They didn't do anything this offseason, so not much to talk about.
Yeah. They're going to be fucking good, man. They're going to be really good.
They are. But it's funny, like everyone thinks the sky is falling with them. They lost some notable guys, don't get me wrong. But, like, this is still the same team by and large.
Yeah. And some of the additions they made I really liked. But one of the big things that's going to, I think, my biggest thing is Svechnikov is healthy to start the year.
100% agree. If he stays healthy this year, he alone is the game changer for this group. 100%. Like he was top 3 things on my list for why I am not as down on them as everyone else.
Yeah.
Nate's just already ready to come out and prove himself as well. I like that.
Yeah, so guys again, Svechnikov being healthy, Nate is going to be ideally given a bigger role this year, and he is going to be playing for that contract, obviously. So what did he sign for? Was it
2 years?
Whatever. I think 2 year, right?
2 years, 6-ish.
And then another step forward from a kid like Seth Jarvis, who was just ridiculous.
Fun.
But those 3 players right there are going to add even more oomph than they already had before. Just again, they're young. They take another step forward. Svechnikov's healthy. I'll be curious to see what role Kotkaniemi gets here. Because I think Jordan Staal is just never going to age. He's just going to be legit like Selke-esque player forever. He's a machine.
He's a horse. Incredible. Like whenever you see those Super Bowl commercials where Budweiser, like it's required. There's like something they signed decades ago that says you will have a Clydesdale commercial during the Super Bowl. Jordan Staal is one of those horses.
Yeah, it's incredible, dude. And then, but like, I don't know why, but Jack Roslovic just feels like a hurricane. I don't know what it is. He's got like ridiculous skill. He's going to get a decent role here. And I think he might have a pretty decent year for them. But I like the William Carrier addition too. For your bottom 6, he plays. He's like a Brindamore type player for sure. Same thing with like Eric Robinson could be pretty interesting on the 4th line.
You think Neto's going to get into the lineup?
I don't know.
I still think it's really weird that they signed him. I wanted to see him go back and play another year of college hockey.
Yeah. See what Tyson Jost looks like there too. Also a guy that kind of feels like he should be there. I don't know what it is. But and then the back end though, Sean Walker, he's so good.
He's the guy I was gonna say belongs as a Hurricane. So
yeah, he is just an awesome fucking defenseman. So I think that was a very, very, very nice signing for them.
Ghost Bear Pig.
Ghost Bear Pig. Yep, exactly. And then Kochetkov, we'll see. I mean, he's shown that he can be really good, and then he's had lapses where it's not been great, and we'll see if Anderson stays healthy.
See, I think that like Freddie Anderson is the goalie that's been like underappreciated for the entirety of his career. Like he continues to be an above average goalie. He's never gonna be like in the Vezina discussion, but he's never gonna be a bad goalie. Can he stay healthy? That's a valid question, but like Toronto was wrong to move off him. People that shit on him in Carolina, I don't get. But him and Kochetkov, like one of them will work out. And again, this is still a Rod Brindamore coach team. They're going to be good in the regular season. They're a disciplined team that doesn't have any major holes. They will be good. Now, come playoffs, what do they look like? Don't know. But we're not talking about that right now. We're talking regular season. I'm still a big believer in the Carolina Hurricanes. It's one of those things, too, where like I feel like the last couple of years they've been kind of the darling pick. Everyone's like, oh, yeah, they're going to be in the Cup final. Now no one's going to be talking about them. This is the year they're going to do it.
Right. Yeah.
Like that's how it works, right?
Yeah, exactly.
All right, let's move on then to opposite end of the spectrum, I guess, when it comes to this division. We got the Columbus Blue Jackets. Going to be a tough year. Obviously, tough both on the ice and emotionally with the, again, unnecessary tragedy, very easily avoidable tragedy for Johnny Gaudreau. But I don't know, Z. Are they the worst team in the division? Probably. Are they as bad as everyone's saying? I don't know. I don't know. And it's going to sound dumb to say this is the reason, but Dean Evison, which, by the way, anyone listening to this on podcast, it's probably already out by now. Those of you that are watching live, Tuesday, we drop the Dean Evison interview on Fellowship of the Rink. Go check it out. He's an absolute beauty. It was a lot of fun. Dude, you saw what he did with mediocre Wild teams. He got them to 100 points. Is he going to do that with Columbus? Fuck no. But could he get them some wins that otherwise wouldn't be had? Maybe. They're frisky, but they're not a playoff team, so I'm not going to argue for that.
Yeah, and I mean, they've got some young players there that, again, they should be taking another step forward. Kirill Marchenko's been awesome since he came over from the KHL. I think he'll be really good again. We'll see how much rope Kent Johnson gets this year, because like he's obviously a fucking incredible player. We've seen flashes of him showing how good he is. Just long streaks of like inconsistencies. And then Adam Fantilli, like, will he take another step forward? He, again, same thing. Like we saw a few games last year where he really looked like that second, third overall pick, depending on where you put him in your rankings. But they've got some young players, obviously, again, that they're going to be ideally taking a step forward. We'll see what happens with Dean Evison. Again, this is like the mold of a team that Dean Evison likes to coach, I feel like, anyways. So I don't think they're going to be as bad as they were last year. They also, again, like they had another year last year where everybody got hurt again. So, like, can Zach Werenski stay healthy? Big question mark there, obviously. But
I'm with you, though.
I still think they're last in the division, though, for sure.
Sure, but I think you nailed it there where like last year was not truly indicative of where that team was at.
Right.
They were better than the fourth worst team. And granted, they've lost things. Things have changed. Guys are going to take steps, whatever. They're not the like obvious first overall pick next year like everyone is firmly labeling them. Right. But yeah, they're probably the worst in the division. But I don't think that they're like a 70-point team either.
Yeah, so, and as Urban just put in the comments too, they've got two pretty big injuries to start off the year now too. Boone Jenner just got hurt, and then Dmitry Voronkov also got hurt. I think like in the same practice, but I mean, Sean Monahan's there. JVR they bring in. Thank God. And I mean, I really like Jordan Harris, young D-man.
Actually, don't know who that is.
And then David Jurasek, what's it going to be? Like, what is he going to look like this year? I think ideally he gets way more minutes, obviously.
Damon Hunt and Freddie Gaudreau both go to Columbus.
Yeah, there you go. They've got a big problem in net too. So, yeah, again in this division probably going to be like a 8th for both of us, but.
It won't be awesome. Yeah,
it'll be different than last year. Still, I feel.
No, fair. All right, then we go to the other end of the overseas games, New Jersey Devils. This is definitely this year's darling team. Right? Everyone, oh yeah, this is the team that makes it back in the playoffs. Well, bold fucking prediction when everyone thought they were like the number 2 team in the division last year. And oh wait, they filled the only real hole they had and added elsewhere. No fucking shit. The New Jersey Devils are going to be good.
Yeah, no, they're going to be legit.
They have a Hall of Famer.
I mean, that automatically makes them the best team in the league, obviously. I don't know. My big question is still going to be how much of a difference can Markstrom really be? Because, I mean, again, he's another goalie we've seen be, like, really good, one of the best goalies in the league. Then the next year, he looks average to below average. He's playing in front of a very good D4.
That's enough.
Yeah. And, I mean, again, the big thing, too, Dougie Hamilton's healthy to start the year, I think.
Maybe.
And Brett Pesce was a real nice signing for them, too, in that middle pair there.
When him and Hughes get healthy.
Another step. Luke Hughes taking another step. Brendan Dillon, same thing. Really nice addition for their third pair there to play with Simon Nemitz, who ideally takes another step forward as well.
Seamus Casey's.
There's a really well-built roster. I mean, also, Paul Cotter fucking rules. He's a good hockey player, man. He has always been very, like, when Vegas was going through injuries and still, like, getting some points on the board, a lot of that was, like, Paul Cotter was the guy that would elevate into, like, middle to top six, and he would put up some decent points. He's got skill. He's big. He plays hard. I like him a lot. So that's a nice fourth, third line addition. And again, the Hall of Famer, baby.
Hall of Famer, baby. Yeah, so not a lot of time needs to be spent here. Both high on this team. We can move on to one that's way more interesting. And, Z, this is going to be so fun. Remember that contract that we both thought was such a good decision from Lou Lamoriello and definitely didn't catch us off guard at all? For one Pierre Engvall? Did he just get fucking waived in year 2 of that deal? Are you fucking kidding me, Lou?
Yeah, it sounds right.
I feel horrible for the player, but dear Lord, like, play stupid games, win stupid prizes, Lou. What is going on?
You know what's crazy is the last, like, year or two, the NHL has just been, I feel like it's actually been, in terms of, like, news and shit that's going on, it's just getting more and more exciting. I already forgot that they fucking hired Patrick Waugh last year. I forgot that he was their coach.
All right.
I just think they're an average hockey team.
Just so you know, they have Bo Horvat as well.
Yes, they do. I did remember that one.
They did do something fun. They did one fun thing. They never do fun things.
The Duclair. The Duclair signing was
a fun thing.
That's
awesome.
Fun. And I mean, like the Siplikov kid, who's like I think top 10 for like Calder odds. He's gonna be one to watch too. He's probably gonna be second line left wing potentially.
Where did he play last year?
I don't even remember. Not here. Not in the NHL. I don't think he played in the NHL. But they're gonna be a pain in the ass to play against because it's the Islanders. Sorokin has to be so much fucking better.
Dude, he disappointed. You know, like, I might be the highest person on Sorokin, and last year he just shit the bed.
Yeah, it was bad. Again, on the back end, Noah Dobson's fucking awesome. Pellick, Pulak shoots the puck a million miles an hour.
Pellick-Pulak pairing might be one of my favorite pairings in the league.
It's just like
between the names, between how efficient they are, like they just are the perfect second pairing for a blue line.
Yeah, I don't know. I just think they're a very middle of the pack hockey team. They're gonna.
They will not bottom out. They will not win the division. They'll be right on the fringe of like the 3, 4, 5 spot for the division, right?
Yeah, that's pretty much it. Yeah.
Pretty uninspiring, boring, but thank you, Lou, for giving us the laughs with the Engvall contract. That, wow, at least there's only 6 more years.
Yeah, thank God.
All right. Next up, then, we've got the Fugazis. We've got the New York Rangers. You know my negativity towards them, generally speaking. Obviously, like, look at the roster. It's a good team. I'll come out and say it. They're not my number 1 team in the division this year. But they're also a no-shit playoff team. So I don't know. I have a lot of thoughts. Maybe you should go first.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, one of the best teams in the division. I still have a lot of question marks in certain parts of the line. For me, the biggest wild card is going to be, is Alexis Lafreniere, is he going to do it this year? Where he, towards the end of last season, really started to pop off, looked really good in the playoffs, looks more confident. He had some fuck you in his game too. I mean, he always has, but he, like, when he plays with that confidence, that comes out more too. I mean, we'll see what Riley Smith gives them in terms of their additions. Another guy that we have to keep an eye on is Capo Caco. Could he at least take a step forward? I don't know. Can Filipino stay healthy? Filipino staying healthy.
That's
going to be a big pivot for them too.
If I have to say something nice about the New York Rangers, it's that if Filipino stays healthy, like, he's among the best third line players in the league. Like, he is so good. I like him so much, and him being out last year, while I don't want anyone to be hurt, I was not upset that Hedl wasn't playing for the Rangers.
Yeah.
And Jacob Trouba's a horrible captain. So, and person. I'm sorry, I couldn't help myself. I still think that it's ridiculous that people, like, sided with him and said he's exercising his contractual rights. No, he's fucking not. No, he's not. But it sounds like they've come to an agreement that, like, this is the last year. Like, he understands that he's not going to be a Ranger after this season.
Which is crazy. But
yeah. So that is that, like, are they playing for him, or is it like a weird riff all year that the team can't improve or do certain things because Trouba basically took the team hostage and said, you can trade me, but I won't report. So fuck you. He basically chicken wing Drury.
Everyone can get it, bro. Like, everyone is on the track.
So, you want to hear my, like, vibes reason why I'm not as high on the Rangers as everybody else? It's gonna sound dumb, but I wholeheartedly believe this in my soul. They had ridiculous years from both Shesterkin and Quick that I don't think are replicable. I think Shesterkin's the real deal, and he's a great goalie. Goalies are voodoo, and it's pretty rare that you see a goalie go back-to-back years, even being in the Vezina discussion, let alone being a freak of nature like Shesterkin was last year. And then you've got Quick, who, like, somehow is defying the test of time. I just don't think they're going to get the same level of goaltending they did last year. It's still going to be good. I just don't think it's as freakishly good. You're going to hear me say the same thing when we get into the Jets with Hellebuck. He's still a great goalie. Is he going to be out of his mind like last year? History tells me no. So they'll be good enough. They're just not going to be, like, complete nonsense world beaters like last season. That is my opinion based on my brain stats.
Yeah, I think they'll actually get pretty similar between the two of them. I think the numbers will pan out to be similar. Like, Shesterkin got off to a slow start. Quick came in and legitimately kept them as one of the better teams in the NHL.
So good.
And then the All-Star break happened, and then Shesterkin came back and was just a god again. So I don't see him getting off to the rocky start like he did last year. And I mean, I think at one point he was, like, letting in like 4.5 per game on average, and then he'd like at 890 before, like, the All-Star break, like January anyways. But again, then the All-Star break happened. Shesterkin came back and was lights out, and Jonathan Quick was, like, at least league average again. So I think it comes out in the wash. I don't think it's going to take the same, like I just don't see Shesterkin getting off to that slow start. But at the end of the day, I kind of actually see the goaltending numbers between the two of them probably looking pretty similar, because Quick's ideally, barring injury, probably not going to get the same kind of load.
I think this is the first one we've really, like, strongly disagreed on, which is good. Also, just they're not quite there. Yeah. They're right on the cusp for me, but, like, a lot of their best players are close to aging out, right? Like, a lot of their big dogs are early 30s in the forward group. And I don't think that you fall off the cliff quite yet, but it's where we kind of put them on watch. Like, when are you going to start to show signs of decay or slow up a little bit? I think this year, a lot of them are probably safe, but if one of those guys does, like, regress, maybe that holds them back a little bit too. But nitpicking, they're a good team. I hate them. They're a good team, but I have reasons to not be as high on them as the rest of the world who, like, everyone's saying they're going to win the division, and you probably will too, and I understand, but I don't agree. Sweet. Moving on to the only team that I dislike at a similar level, the scumbags of Philadelphia. Although I love Torts, so put that on the shelf. Philadelphia Flyers were the most surprising team for the first half of the season, and then their implosion was, for me, fun to watch. A lot of interesting moving parts, and of course, you're always going to be on your toes with a guy like Torts. What are they? Like, are they the team from the beginning of the season, from the end of the season, or do you see them in a completely different light than either?
Yeah, I think they're not quite as bad. I mean, we also forget they almost still made the playoffs, despite Torts not wanting them to make the playoffs and be like, no, we're selling everybody. We don't care. But for me, the big question is going to be, can Matvei Michkov actually just step right in? First of all, not get scratched every other game, and then like give them enough of an offensive push to like be a competitive playoff team. I don't think it's going to happen. Like, I have them pretty low here. But they still have a couple really good players. Obviously, Owen Tippett like went off last year. He looks really good.
Mm-hmm.
Expect to continue scoring goals.
What do you think of that connecting contract?
What was the actual number?
7 something.
Yeah, I don't
upper
know.
7. I thought. Good. Let me find it.
Really good.
I like him. He's just, I don't know. He's like right on the fringe for me of like, is he the guy or not?
I think he's a really good player. Like, he's probably just under a point per game guy, and he affects the game every time he jumps on the ice. So I don't have a problem giving him a long term. He's also like, again, like less than.
No,
8.
I lied. He got 8.75.
Okay, you got 8.75.
That's a lot. That's too much for me.
Yeah, I don't know. I still look at him as like a top line winger. He can be like a 30 goal. You can be like 30-40 guy. So I don't have that big of a problem with it.
Okay, what?
It's a little bit much for me, but like I'm not saying
it's egregious. It's not like horrible, but that's more than I'd be comfortable with.
Yeah.
Like if it was my team, I don't want to give him that much money.
Right. Yeah.
So that it's objective and I'm not just shitting on Philly. They're interesting, man. I don't get a lot of reason to believe in their blue line. I do think that the one thing that popped last year for me, Sammy Urson played great.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if that's replicable, but he played great.
So that's the thing. I don't know how replicable that is.
But if him and Fedotov are splitting the load 50-50 and he doesn't have to carry the whole bag, like, that's interesting to me. And after Wild fans shit so aggressively on the Flyers for trading back and then reaching for Jet Luchenko, dude's on the fucking team.
I love Jet Luchenko, man. He's awesome. I'm happy.
I loved him until he was drafted by Philly.
Yeah. Should he be playing the NHL? I don't know. But
a little weird.
Torts is going to fucking love him. Like, he is a Torts guy. He is a really good player. He's got a nonstop motor. He's very fun to watch. On this roster, he's going to be in one a little bit. Because, again, like I said, I'm pretty low in terms of them in this division anyways. But they've got a couple interesting pieces. But, like, if they really are somehow going to make a push to be a potential playoff team somehow, which, again, I think it's a big-time stretch, like, Matvei Michkov, again, like, can't get scratched. We'll have to just, I was just going to ask, what's the over-under
for how many games before he gets scratched?
Same thing, like, I'll be curious to see what Morgan Frost looks like this year too. Like he's another guy that was catching the wrath of like the random scratches from Torts too.
Well, and dude, Farabee and Brink are both interesting guys too. Like there's a lot of intrigue on the roster, but I think even if everything hits, they're like at best a fringe playoff team.
It's a very weird collective of players.
That's for sure. But dude, they changed their shade of orange by like 2%. So completely different culture and environment. Totally different brand.
Could be different.
All right, dude. Now it's the Pittsburgh Penguins.
I'm gonna let you go. Just go off.
I'm just not excited. This is a team that I don't know. Last year should have been a playoff team. Sidney Crosby had a Hart Trophy caliber season, and they still missed the playoffs in a dog shit race. Like they got beat by the Capitals, who had like a negative 7,000 goal differential. They haven't changed enough to inspire confidence. Do I like some of the moves? Like, sure. Do they move the needle a ton? No. I believe in Crosby. I believe in Malkin. The rest of it is weird. I do really like that Bunting came back as part of the Gensel trade. Like, I actually think he fit in really well down the stretch, and it's going to be fun to watch him this year. McGroarty, who knows, could work out. I still think that if he's not in your top 9 at a minimum by the end of October, the trade didn't make sense. The blue line, I don't know. I like parts of it. None of it really inspires like strong hope, but it's going to be interesting to watch. Their power play can't possibly be as bad as it was last year. And now, of course, Nedeljkovic is already hurt to start the year, so it's pretty much Tristan Jarry, and we'll see what Joel Blomqvist can do. Like, it's another team that's not going to bottom out. They're not going to wow. They could fight for a like wild card, or they could be the 3 seed in the division. I have them missing the playoffs, and this is the first time that I've ever like said that in the Crosby era. Like, I don't think this is a playoff team, but if things pan out the right way and they get some of the right looks early on and everyone's healthy, like, sure, they can do it. They're not a bad team. They're just not a very exciting team.
Yeah, I mean, if for me, again, the two things that I look at is, if you want to look at, like, if you want to take the positive approach, it's always hard for me to bet against Sidney Crosby. I think it's just, you never do that, obviously. And I have a feeling that he's not going to take a step backwards. He's probably going to be the same player yet again.
I just don't see him taking a step forward. Like, there is no
I don't know how he could.
Right.
So he's like, that will always get you a certain amount of wins, just him being Sidney Crosby. And the thing with them too is like the fucking power play it can't be worse. Like, it legitimately couldn't be worse.
Do you think Quinn coming in is enough?
I don't know, but like, it literally can't be worse than it was.
Him and Sullivan on the bench together is a really fun dynamic to think about, though.
That's gonna be they're gonna be chirping each other half the game anyway. That's gonna be just the two Boston guys back, like, well, fuck yourself. Fuck you.
Who's gonna park the car?
Fucking park it. But yeah, I mean, again, they're not
my wild card. Can Cody Glass be okay?
I would love that. That's a guy I'm rooting for.
I hope for him.
I also keep forgetting that Lars Eller's in the league still.
Oh yeah,
just keep forgetting about that.
Dubious wouldn't forget.
But I want to see what McGroarty, what role he gets, because he's really, really good. And I think he's going to be. I think he could potentially add, not necessarily maybe like a huge difference maker all season long.
I think third line is his home.
And like, he gives you something that they didn't really have a whole lot of in terms of just like youthful like skill and like.
I mean, guys under 30.
Yeah, literally guys under 30 years old.
It's too bad.
My boy Matty Grizzlick. I hope he stays healthy, because he's still it just never worked at the end there in Boston with how
I've had to preach the good word against a lot of the people that cover the Penguins. I'm like, is he like a game changer? No. Is he a very serviceable top 6 defenseman? Yes, he is.
The 2 years ago when the Bruins choked against the Panthers and lost that after being up 3-1 in the series, he was still getting scratched a couple games in the playoffs, but he was literally the only defenseman on that hockey team that could get the puck and transition it out of their own zone. Every single other defenseman was like less than 50% success rate. Like, he is a transition machine. Like, that's just what he does. He's an absolute escape artist with the puck. He is really good at moving puck, as long as he stays healthy and he gets good minutes. I hope he gets a good run, because it's tough when he's like getting scratched one game, back in one, getting scratched for 2. And I mean, on this team, he should be probably on their second pair anyways.
Probably has to be first then, because their second pair is pretty cemented.
Oh, right.
All right, man. Now we come to my Tampa Bay Lightning of the Metro. The team that has, like, I have no freaking clue how this assembly of players is going to work out. I'm personally lower on them, but, like, there's absolutely a world where they finish at the bottom of the division or end up the 2 seed. Like, I don't know. The Washington Capitals have the weirdest assembly of players I think that I've seen in the past, like, decade, just as far as, like, if you went from last year, didn't pay any attention in the offseason, and then pulled up a roster today, you'd be like, the fuck?
One of the more fascinating retools or attempts at a retool over the summer that we've seen in a while, where it's
this
like,
isn't even like a retool. This is a refuel, and just make sure there's something there so that Ovechkin can keep chasing. That's all it is.
Because, like, I said this before, I like a bunch of the moves that they made, including, like, even the big contract to Matt Waugh. Like, again, I think he's like a quiet defenseman, but he's very good. Like, transition wise, he can defend himself. Jacob Chychrun to step in, he's could be able to give them some offense that who knows how much more John Carlson should have, or, like, if he can stay healthy too. Like, to me, they look like a decent team that could be, like you said at the start, I could see a range of outcomes here. And, like, Tom Wilson being healthy, can he still be Tom Wilson that's like 25 goals, 25 assists, and like fucking 120 penalty minutes, like killing everybody? I think if he stays healthy and can legit still be a top 6 forward for them, that's a big time difference maker, obviously. But the big question, what the fuck does PLD look like this year? Like, what is he going to look like this year? I have absolutely no idea. I don't know if you're PLD. I don't know how you don't look at this and say, oh, this is probably, like, at least I signed that massive ticket, but, like, realistically, this is probably, like, if it doesn't work here and I'm getting fucking, like, scratched or thrown the 4th line, I don't know how another team is ever going to, like, even bother. I have no idea. I have no idea.
I lean no, but I really don't know.
Right.
Yeah, for me, it's just such a random accumulation of players. Like, I don't see balanced lines. I don't see, like, chemistry existing right off the hop. Like, I think it's going to be an interesting start. If they hit the ground running right away and look competent, like, maybe they can do something. But I feel like this is a team that's going to take some time to figure out what the hell their identity is and what everyone's role is. Like, I feel like Mangiapane and Ovechkin on the same line, what some people have said, like, that feels weird to me. I don't know. I'm very confused. The only thing I can say with certainty, though, is that two things. Sorry. One, you gotta really bang home your wins when you have so few. And I've been right for the past, like, 3 years on Charlie Lindgren. I just hope that he follows up his performance last year with something similar this year so I can actually feel accomplished instead of it being a little blip. My real excitement with this team, though, if they're in some level of contention to make a playoff spot, inject baby Tom Wilson into this lineup and let him just fucking go bull in China shop.
Let him cook, yeah. Yeah.
Those
see.
two on the
Again,
same
there's
line,
just-
I would ISO cam the shit out of that.
Yeah, The Apprentice, dude.
Fun.
Yeah, it's a very interesting, fascinating team. I think between their two goalies, they're spending less than $2 million.
And like, they're good goalies. They're good goalies.
It's crazy. I know. It's just fascinating, dude.
Less fun, but I did hear that like that whole bit where Thompson got traded while he was signing autographs. Apparently he asked for that trade, so not quite as fun as we thought it was, but still. Vegas would have done it either way. We know it.
Yeah, I know.
I know it.
They're like, damn it, he wants it. Damn it, maybe we should.
Damn it. All right, let's delay this. How can we make it weird? Ah, yes, in the middle of signing autographs. Done.
Yeah.
They actually knew like 3 hours earlier. They're like, all right, let's just wait until his autograph session. Can you guys keep this under wraps? But all right, that rounds out the Metropolitan Division. So Z, let's work it top to bottom. Who's your number one team?
New Jersey.
I like it. I'm going Carolina.
Yeah.
Number two.
Carolina. Yeah, Carolina. I was fluctuating between Carolina.
I'm going New Jersey. Number three.
Rangers.
My number three is the New York Rangers. Fuck.
You really wanted to fucking play that one, dude.
4. Islanders.
I'm saying I'm going Capitals. I'm going with it.
I can absolutely see it happening. I'm not a believer. I think it's way too Frankenstein of a roster. I'm low on them. And in the sense that team that I'm very down on compared to other years, I'm saying my number 5 is Pittsburgh. But they still don't make the playoffs.
My 5 is Pittsburgh.
Oh, so you're just shitting all over Lou.
I have so these 3 teams.
Right, they're so tight.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. I feel the same way. I feel like 4 through 7 could be like split by 10 points tops. Because my 6 is Washington.
Islanders.
And then I think we're both going to round it out. Philly, Columbus. You know what?
Yep.
If Columbus just had like one more piece, I would be so tempted to get frisky and put them above Philly, but I can't in good conscience. But I do think that they're going to be better than other people think, as we've discussed. All right, there we go. Got through the Metro, had a little bit of difference of opinion, but I don't know. I feel like we're usually fairly aligned on a lot of these. I think the big one here is you like Washington and I don't.
I could see
Not
a
well,
world
like.
Yeah. I could see it working.